On this 25th day of April 2024, welcome to the Thursday edition of Uctv News. I'm Sunday Gloria Aboch. Now, workers' rights activists are concerned with the deliberate government's negligence in protecting the workers' rights in Uganda. This has been brought to light through an engagement between the National Organization for Trade Union NOTU and the International Trade Union Congress ITUC with other various workers' rights activists in Uganda.
As the country prepares to join the global community in commemorating the International Labour Day, slated for 1st May 2024 at Mukabura Grounds in Fort Portal, the government is held in the spotlight over its loose commitment in generating a safe and healthy working environment for employees. It's against this ground that Charles Bakabulindi, a workers' MP, insists on the establishment of Industrial Court of Appeal in order to ensure effective dispensation of social justice to the workers.
An Industrial Court of Appeal, so that is different from the normal common law of courts, so that we address the issue of social justice to our workers. Otherwise, that's why we have been losing cases in this common law courts of appeals, because they don't look at our issues in that particular angle. And I think once we approach that direction, we shall now be moving towards the right position. We as members of parliament, of course, working together with the various leaders, this is one where we want to work as a team to make sure that whichever law comes to be repealed, now that we have got about 6 sets of laws, we look at our conventions, we look at those ones which are ratified, and we make sure that they are domesticated.
Abdul Biakatonda, also a workers' MP, tasks the government to ensure effective adherence of the international minimum standards to condense errant employers.
We want to ensure that at least there's adherence to minimum standards, international minimum standards, Uganda being an ILO constraint. I think the challenge is not the absence of laws in Uganda, but the problem is professional dishonesty, where people bend the rules to fit their own demand or to appraise some masters somewhere. This has caused a very big challenge, because the country has actually tried to cascade ILO conventions in a number of laws. For example, Convention 120 on remuneration is covered under Article 21 of the Constitution. It's covered under Section 4 of the Employment Act, and a number of other conventions. But you find that why is the problem? When we talk of the issues of court taking that judgment, I think clearly you find that I think we have missed a point, because the constitutional provisions have a lot of mitigation on this.
Alex Sinkos, the African representative of the International Trade Union Confederation, expresses concern about the escalating rise of child labor in the country.
The issue of minimum age, especially child labor, which is rampant in this country. With the level of poverty, there are a lot of child dropouts, which is affecting this economy. And we believe this matter, we should handle it closely.
In the same vein, Agatha Rembe Namirembe, who is the chairperson of Uganda Public Employees Union, has implored the government to first ensure the effectiveness of the already existing laws before moving to the remuneration board.
We have a convention for the public servant workers, but these are not being respected. We have a law that is there. We negotiate with the workers, but we have found that government is not willing, even when agreements are signed, to follow them up to date. We still have an agreement which was signed in 2019 for the public officers, but this has not been implemented. So we appeal to government, before they even think of bringing up other issues of salary, remuneration boards and so on, they should think of what was agreed on and the relevancy of why the negotiation council was put in place, that is more relevant and more inclusive of all the parties than what they are proposing.
Joseph Kavali, Uctv News.
A school in Busia has been sued in the High Court of Tororo for allegedly expelling a pupil upon a forceful pregnancy test. The school is Busumba Primary School, a Church of Uganda-founded school located in Busia. David Wafula, a parent of the learner, has logged the case through a non-government organization known as Woman with a Mission on the 23rd of April 2024.
It is reported that in September last year, the management of Busumba Primary School subjected one of the female pupils to a forceful pregnancy test, and when the test was positive, the girl was subsequently expelled after humiliation by the staff. The matter was reported to a non-government organization by Angela Uma, the mother of the victim, upon which the organization initiated a collective pursuit for justice, together with the father of the minor identified as Wafula in Tororo High Court. This was on Tuesday, the 23rd of April 2024. Monica Kureza, the lawyer of the WWM, says that they want to challenge the act in which the minor was subjected to a forceful pregnancy test without her parents' consent.
Challenging the mandatory pregnancy at school and how it is done without the consent of the pupils or the consent of the parents. Furthermore, we are challenging the way the children are dismissed from schools, especially the girl child is dismissed from school. Because oftentimes they feel embarrassed in communities, they don't go back to school because of the stigma and the stigma that comes with being chased from school because you are pregnant. So that's the challenge that many young girls are facing in communities. So this case does not only represent one girl child, it represents the many young girls that have stopped going to school because they were denied a right to study, to education, yet it is guaranteed under the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda.
Betty Balisalamu, the executive director of Women with a Mission, condemned what she called the school management's humiliation tendency.
All the knitting is a violations of a number of rights, which include the pressing is inhuman, cruel and degrading. It is a degrading treatment of the young girls because one, they are not actually prepared to go through this forceful examination. Two, it is inhuman, it is indignifying of a young girl to go through this torture. That even after they are being tested positive, they are not cancelled, you know. So we feel it is humiliating, it is shameful for the young girls. It has actually caused emotional torture, distress to some of these young girls, and most of these young girls have actually failed to go back to school because of the torture they have gone through after being expelled from school.
Thomas Wabire, a parent at Busumba Primary School, says that people who do pregnancy tests, in most cases, the school matrons are not trained to do the testing. He asked the government to deploy health workers in schools to do any kind of health screening among the learners.
It has been so hard for matrons to handle these children, especially the girl child, because there is no school that trains matrons, as far as I know. It would have been better if district authorities, especially the education department, either regional or even the Ministry of Education, came up with a mentorship program, how they can, which can help the matrons help these children. Because if they set up something like a workshop, in this case, it can help matrons. Because these people are just employed, they come on the job and they have much more time with these girl children more than the parents. And in class, the teachers just have that time to teach. So these people have a lot of impact on the girl child life. So if they are trained on how to handle the children, especially in cases that is attached to how a girl child should come up, they need to be trained and they can help a lot.
Now, according to the World Health Organization, WHO, African region carries an extremely high share of the global malaria burden, with 94% of malaria cases and 95% of malaria death. As we celebrate World Malaria Day today, we take a closer look of how malaria infection during pregnancy can have adverse effects on the pregnant mother. Our reporter Nora Osende brings us details to this.
Malaria is a mosquito-borne disease caused by a parasite. People with malaria often experience fever, chills, and flu-like illness. Left untreated, they may develop severe complications and die. According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 241 million cases of malaria occur worldwide and 627,000 deaths. Malaria remains a substantial public health issue in Uganda over an estimated period. Uganda has the world's highest malaria incidence rate with 478 cases per 1,000 population annually. Okwea Tracy, a midwife at Insambia Hospital, explains why malaria is rampant among pregnant mothers.
When we are pregnant, pregnancy is an organism which comes into our bodies and our body automatically tries to fight, so our immunity decreases. So when our immunity decreases, malaria gets a chance to attack our body system due to the fact the pregnant mothers have low immunity in them. So that's why it is rampant and it spreads faster when a mother is pregnant.
Malaria in pregnancy also contributes significantly to high rates of miscarriage, premature delivery, and low birth weight.
It can lead to premature births, meaning that mothers who were supposed to deliver, let's say, in the earlier months, deliver earlier than their deaths. Then can also lead to anemia, loss of blood levels in our bodies. It can also lead to stillbirths. Mothers give birth to dead babies. It can also lead to small deaths for children who are born which are less in kilos, which is 2.5 than the expected kilos that we expected them to be produced at, yet they are fully term, meaning that they are full 9 months. They went through them, but they are small. And then we also have miscarriages for those mothers who are below 3 months. If you get pregnant and then malaria attacks you, it leads to loss of baby.
Richana Kandi, a pregnant malaria patient, tells us about her experience with malaria.
Owulira muli oluwewo, owulira omusujja nga gukuluma, n'otandika okubutuka, n'owulira nga appetite toyina erya, toyina eyagala kubeera awo nga n'otuula, owulira obulamu nga bukola ki? Bugenda.
She also tells us about the health workers' recommendations.
Gendako mu ddwaliro omusawo n'akukeberako, n'agamba olina malaria, n'agamba situlako mu katimba k'ensiri, ate olina okumira amakenda ga malaria. Waka waba waliwo ebidiba, olina obisenda ne bivaawo n'okutema ebisika ebiriwo ebireeta malaria.
Malaria bulwadde bwa mutawaana nnyo kuba buli bukwata tewaba tewali kukola n'ensaasaanya y'ensimbi eba nnyingi. Kuba bw'olwala olina okukebera, olina okutwala omwana ku kitanda, so tulina okufuba ennyo okulaba nga tumwetangira okusobola okufissa kasente kuba kati okujjanjaba malaria kya bbeeyi wano. Kebera omusaayi, eddagala, gano macupa, byonna ogenda okumaliriza ng'oli mitwalo 3+. Kati kye tulina okukola, tulina okufuba okulaba nga tusaawa ensiko etuliraanye, tulina okugogola emyala, amazzi gonna agalegamye agatwetoolodde, n'okulaba nga tusula wansi w'obutimba bw'ensiri okusobola okugezaako okwetangira malaria. Kuba bwakwatako buli kimu kiba kyonoonese.
Okwea Tracy also explains what pregnant mothers must do to remain healthy.
We advise the mother to eat a well-balanced diet, make sure she takes plenty of fluids, have enough rest, still sleep under a mosquito net.
Nora Osende for Uctv News.
And from Parliament, opposition has called for a special audit of Luzira Prison's lands. The call has been made by the Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs, Betty Namboze, while addressing journalists at Parliament over the statement by the State Minister of Internal Affairs, General David Mohozi, yesterday to Parliament on the status of the reallocation of Luzira Prison to Buikwe.
Our grandfathers, together with the British government, set aside 420 acres of land to house the Luzira Maximum Prison. This prison was opened in 1927. Since then, this place has acted as the biggest prison in the country, with both sentenced and prisons on remand for both men and women prisons. 2, this place also has prisoners on the death row and accommodates the country's girls, Akalaba. It also has a library that was donated, with books donated by the British government, a hospital, and vast land for all manner and activities that we could provide for if we are interested in building a prison that is not only meant to punish people, but also to rehabilitate them and to turn citizens around and make them better citizens of this country. In his statement, the minister reported that there are 260 acres of land now, and this is what is going to be turned over to the developer he did not name. First of all, our contention is on the number of acres that have been declared. According to records, originally, Luzira Maximum Prison had 420 acres. The Hansard can bear us out. In April 2008, the then Minister for Internal Affairs, Mr. Matia Kasaija, told the Parliament that Luzira was sitting on 420 acres. And he went ahead to say that they had given 64 of these acres of land to Uganda Investment Authority to be parceled out to different industrialists to construct industries and factories around that place. 2, that they had given 13 acres of land to the Catholic Diocese of Kampala to construct a senior secondary school and a hospital. We wish to establish how this land was utilized. We are talking about the 64 acres that we are given to Uganda Investment Authority, the 13 acres that we are given to the Catholic Church, and then how come that today, instead of talking about 420 acres, we are talking about 260. So, it is our contention that before anything else is done, an audit is instituted to establish the true acreage of the land at Luzira and how it is being used, the true status, its status as we talk right now. 2, and in addition to what I've said, in October 2010, the government of Uganda entered into an agreement similar in content, but with different names, with a company that was reported to belong to a Malaysian citizen to take over 252 acres of land housing Kirinya government prison. When you look at Mr. Kasaija's statement to Parliament about Kirinya and the statement about Luzira presented by David Moos yesterday, you would find that it only differs in age, in date, location of land, and the names of the developers. But in content, it is the same. So it seems that there is one person in Uganda, or a group of people, who are interested in taking over prison land. Because wherever prison land is, it happens to be prime land.
Finally, from the local scene, pensioners of Bukonjo County in Kasese district have decried the little money they receive. Some of the pensioners are entitled to a monthly 30,000 shillings pay, which they say is insufficient to cater for their basic needs like feeding and clothing. Baluku Christopher, the pensioners chairperson in Kasese district, suggests that government includes them in the parish development model program.
Emyoga, operation wealth creation, parish development model, skilling hubs, NADS, Rwenzori, Ruwero, to mention but a few. Some of our pensioners get a monthly pension of as low as 30,000.
Not that everybody in this group is earning as low as what was mentioned. You remember we have been retiring at different times. In the olden days, it's true people are earning a monthly pension of 30,000 shillings. But others also earning like Honorable Christine, Mama Christine, the senior president advisor, is telling you she's earning 400,000. And I know others are even earning more than that. So it is our wish as pensioners that our pensions should be enhanced.
One cannot get 30,000 per month because 30,000 of today cannot help even to buy a sacket of salt. So what I will do, I will go and talk to I will go to the pension officers and discuss with them the issue of these pensioners, the way they have been complaining, and see whether they can improve and add more money so that they can also be sustained. Because 30,000 cannot do anything for anybody.
Thank you very much for being a part of this newscast. UCTV News takes a break and we'll be back after these messages. And from that, we are going to straight look into what is making history today in History.
UCTV, good news for all.
Catch incredible stories of resilience, success.
You can manage that money.
With a topping of inspiration.
Get interested in people, not interested in yourself.
Inspire, achieve, repeat.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Towoka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the request show and sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773-597-166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasesegat Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth. UCTV, good news for all.
And finally, in our Uganda Matters feature today, we bring you the story of Saint Andrew Kagwa.
Saint Andrew Kagwa. Kagwa was a Munyoro from Koki, Bukumi Parish in Bugangaizi County. His father was Kahwa Kiwejenge of the Kiwere clan. About 1869, Kagwa was captured by Buganda raiders, brought to Buganda as one of King Mutesa's pages. He was smart, clever, and obedient, and soon became a skilled carpenter. Kagwa became the band's master general. He converted to Catholicism mainly because the Catholic missionaries had a sacrifice of celibacy to their God. Kagwa became a zealous and pious Catholic. He was properly married to Claire Batude Nakaziwe, a Muganda. Andrew Kagwa had a very strong faith. He and his friend Barry Kudembe were constant at the parish, and the missionaries had much confidence in them. But the Arabs, through the mission boys, managed to steal a lot of property from the parish secretly. The missionaries, on learning of this, jumped to a conclusion that it was none other than Andrew and Joseph Mukasa. On learning of this, Andrew and Joseph Mukasa devoted themselves to prayer and put themselves in God's providence. Some of their friends advised them to abandon the religion of the white man.
We do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being a part of this Thursday edition of UCTV News. I'm Sunday Gloria Aboch. Have yourselves the best of this evening.